All right. Hello, this is Wmpyr. Um, I know it's been a while since I've uploaded a video, and the reason is because I went to Japan with my girlfriend. We were there for about a week and mainly stayed in Osaka. So that was our main portal. And then from there, we went to Kyoto. We also went to Fukuoka to go see sumo, and we're both sumo fans. So it was great to see sumo live. For me, this was the second time. For her, this was the first time she's been to Japan, and it's the first time she's ever seen a sumo event. Um, the first time I saw the sumo wrestlers, it was in Hokkaido, which is the northern part of Japan. And when I went, that's where my mom's side is from. And when I went there and saw the sumo wrestlers, it wasn't their um, how would I say, they weren't competing. I mean, they had the event, but there's on season and off season. So that was an off season thing. So yeah, they sumo wrestle each other, but they're not going like full force. You know what I mean? Because it's off season. It doesn't count, so to speak. So it's kind of like just to stay in shape and stay in how would I say, like not have ring rust kind of thing. Um, and to promote the sport all over Japan. So they travel. And so I got to see that. This time I got to see the actual, when they are in season. So it was a full blown competition where the records count. So it's more intense. But when I saw them in Hokkaido, I was younger. I was about seventh grade, if I seventh, eighth grade, around that time, right when I started martial arts. I remember I had already started, and I had already been doing the Muay Thai kickboxing along with the Filipino martial arts and stuff. And I remember standing right next to a sumo wrestlers as they passed by when they entered into the ring, which is called the dohyo. But as they did that, and I remember thinking to myself, man, I could kick this guy, give this guy a Thai kick to the leg. He's not going to feel anything. Those are like elephant trunks. He won't feel nothing. And not even that. I thought to myself, I could punch him full blown in the face. Like one of them could just say, "Hey, go ahead. I'll give you the first shot. Punch him in the face as hard as you can," and the guy wouldn't bulge. I mean nothing. That's what I felt just being next to them. Right. This time around, I don't know. I'm just older. You know, for whatever reason, they didn't feel as big. Don't get me wrong. They're still huge. But I don't know. Maybe it's because I've been living in Texas for a long time, and everybody here is huge. Texas is oversized, so oversized, overweight, a lot of us. So it just they didn't. I was like, I've seen bigger people in the gym here locally in Texas. So they didn't feel as big. Now that doesn't mean just because they're bigger here, that they could do sumo. No, of course not, because it's a whole set of skills and experience and all that. I mean, these guys, they have like, I mean, what in Muay Thai kickboxing, you got pros that have like 200, 300 fights in their record. The sumo wrestler is going to have like 500 fights, 500 matches. Yes, they're ultra short, so but still 500 matches, 600 matches, that's insane, right? Those are the kinds of numbers they dish out. But anyway, yeah, it was great to see. Um, so anyway, what did I think? So my dad's side of the family, which he cut off, comes from Fukuoka. So this happened to be where this time November the sumo circuit was there. So we went to Fukuoka to go see sumo, but it also happens to be where my ancestors are from. So that kind of held like a special feeling, you know. And then on top of that, with the actual sumo final match, of the main event, the actual final match was my girlfriend's favorite sumo wrestler versus my favorite sumo. It just happened to be that was the final match, so it was great to see that. Um, and my opinion of Fukuoka was that uh, I felt right at home. I loved it there. It was fantastic. Osaka, Kyoto, I did not care for at all. The problem with Osaka was that it's super crowded. I mean, all of Japan's super crowded, but that one was extra. It's almost like Tokyo, and that's where I used to live when I was a kid. In the 80s in Japan. I lived in Tokyo, so some of the things that I've seen were crazy. I mean, it was almost like Blade Runner, ultra future city kind of thing. Um, Osaka's not that different from that. Ultra crowded. And what I really didn't like, so I didn't like the ultra crowdedness, gave me claustrophobia, but what I really, really didn't like was that the air was constantly polluted. It was like living in an ashtray because so many people there smoke. And with Fukuoka, which is country, I guess people are less stressed out. So, there wasn't as much smoking. The air was cleaner. It felt more laid back. Yeah, I Fukuoka worked for me. Osaka, not at all. Um, Kyoto, Kyoto is a tourist city. It is like it's almost like Washington D.C. You're gonna have lots of monuments type of stuff. In this case, it's like temples and you know lots of sightseeing stuff. And for me, that's not my thing because when I look at things like that, I don't see like, wow, look at this amazing structure. It's so beautiful. Look at the history. I feel like a tyrant built this, so why celebrate a tyrant? Same with the pyramids. When I see that, that's kind of what I see. So, I wasn't crazy about that. I read on the temples, one of the things, it said that the ruler, I'm not going to say the name of the temple, but the ruler had that temple built. And um, what made what it instantly made me think of was that this guy, by doing so, he landed absolute monarchy. So he is the ruler, and he also has religious power. So then he has like total power. You know, is that a good thing? is that is that amazing? like I said, dictator, tyrant. Um, doesn't win my respect. And then got to see the the head of the temple. The guy came out like a mafia boss. And the car, I don't know if it was like a Bentley, but it was some expensive, some expensive car. And the monks, they were um, escorting him into the car, and yeah, he took off like much like a mafia boss. So yeah, I feel kind of sad when I see that, whether it's a church or whatever, and you see like this big old church, and then you see the priest or whomever come out, and the guy's driving like a Mercedes. It just, yeah, I'm like, uh, doesn't really appeal to me. you know. Um, So anyway, what do I have to say about Japan? The subway system. It is very complex. Oh my goodness, very complex. But I could also see how useful the thing is. It almost makes me wonder, why doesn't every other country have it? Because it's so useful. But boy, is it complex, complicated. Anyone that says otherwise is full of it. I could read the language and it was still confusing. Which platform do I need to go to? Is this the right direction? Is this the cor- is this the correct line? Like, is it going to stop where I want it to? All that was just, it was a big old pain. And, it definitely is going to take time to get used to something like that. Um, the food is amazing. if you, um, yeah, the food is amazing. If you're into Japanese food, yeah, uh, try all of it. And we did. We tried everything. We tried, just from eating like at their 7-Eleven convenience stores, which is like like a gas station over here. Just eating food there is amazing, delicious. And then eating at restaurants. So you have like chain restaurants, and then you have more like mom and pop, hole in the wall kinds of restaurants. Do all of that, and yeah, they have all kinds. And we tried as many different types of Japanese cuisine as possible. I'm glad that we didn't spend our time, because I am curious. You become curious as to, because they do have their McDonald's, KFC, even Taco Bell and Wendy's. That's all there. So you almost want to compare it, but I'm glad we didn't waste any time or waste it on that, because there's just so many other good stuff that you, why even bother? So yeah, yeah. It was, we did a lot, and there's a lot of walking to the point where, yeah, I was exhausted um, every night. It was just too much. We we had we had done way too much. Book Off is amazing. Book Off Plus is what we went to many times, because not only do they have, for me, they got books and manga with their comic books for cheap. They also have video games, anime toys, Gundams and stuff like that. They have all kinds of toys also there for cheap, secondhand. And then on top of that, they also have like used clothes and stuff. And um, yeah, you could find like a bunch of brand name clothing and stuff for cheap, relatively cheap. So that's also fun to do over there. And the stations, oh my gosh, the stations have, it's a whole nother world. It's an underground world. And so you have your train stations, and where the trains take off, next to it, literally, you're going to have a bunch of stores, these underground stores and stuff. And they have shopping, they have eating places. So the station is packed full of that kind of stuff, and you could just have plenty of fun there. But then you could go out of your way and go to actual stores, and so these stores are not underground; they're above ground. And I was surprised that we actually went to a mall, and but that was Fukuoka. I just didn't think Japan had malls. They have what is called department stores, which is their equivalent to their malls, and those kinds of malls are all vertical. Yeah, so imagine you're the mall that we have here in the U.S., but it's vertical, right? Um, and the malls are definitely places where you're going to have lots of things to check out, and from clothing to books, toys, uh, capsule machines is another thing I had tons of fun with, playing that. Um, yeah, the capsule machines over there are just, they're just on another level, and lots of fun. Went to several stores that were just, that's all it was. It was specifically only capsule machines. So that's something I wish we'd see. Um, Probably New York and LA already has stuff like that. Houston here is still behind compared to New York and LA, but we are getting lots of stuff here that is. If you're a fan of Japan, like ramen here, I will put up, some of the ramen here is so good. I will proudly put it next to the ramen in Japan. It's at that level. There are some cuisine here that is Japan level. I can say that. And we don't have a book off here yet, but we do have Kinokuniya, which is their bookstore, their normal bookstore, which is, it's going to be expensive. But so the book off is like their half price books. Um, but yeah, uh, all in all, it is a wild, wild trip. Like you literally go to another world. I don't know, the last time or the time before when I went to Japan, I felt like it was almost mystical. This time around, I did not feel that. I didn't feel I don't know how to call it, like it almost felt supernatural before. This time around, I don't know why. It just didn't. Um, not, that doesn't make it good or bad. I'm just saying, it's just a different vibe, I guess. Um, the plane is brutal. Yeah, the plane ride is brutal. Although I did get to see a whole bunch of movies going over there, and also not so much coming back because I guess I was more tired. But yeah, and I hope to do some of the movie reviews for you guys. But anyway, that's it for now. That was a quick video, or it's not so quick video on my Japan trip. So thank you for listening and take care, folks.